When I took organic chem, I had this chem wizard for a lab partner. We got chummy, and he told me a weird story one night after studying. He says 2 years prior, he and his GF went camping. On their way back home, he really has to pee. Stops in at a shitty little rest area. He goes in to use the restrooms, comes back, finds his GF sitting stiffly in the car. Her eyes are wide, and she is staring out into the woods behind the restroom. She begs him to get them the fuck out of there. She is speaking very quietly, but seems really spooked. He is confused, but she looks kinda panicked, so he takes off. He keeps asking what the fuck happened. Finally, she tells him. While she was waiting on him in the car, she saw movement outside her window. Sees these two girls walk quickly past the car. Really small, like 6-year height. They look really weird though, not like regular kids. They are kinda walking funny, and she notices their hands. They look like doll hands, like cheap plastic, with the fingers all stuck together like in action figures. One of them looks back at her. Her face is completely flat, and her eyes are totally black and huge, like an old cartoon. The girls hobble past the restroom into the trees and disappear. That's it. I found it weird. Anyone ever experienced something similar? This was back in 2008. I was hiking in eastern Finland and western Russia. Just a short 100-kilometer route through absolutely nothing. I started from the Petkeljärvi National Park, hiked along the border, and crossed a Soviet land at a crossing south of Kanika. Just forest and not a soul around. It was early fall, so the nature was tremendously beautiful. I was making my way through virtually untouched wilderness. On the Finnish side, there was nothing particularly interesting. After crossing and getting to the Russian outback was great. I had walked for about 4 hours after the crossing, and I came to a beautiful lakeshore with birch trees and mossy ground. I set up camp and went looking for suitable firewood. I circled around the camp and got further and further into the birch grove. I found a neat clearing that did not appear to have any trees ever growing in it, since the ground was so smooth. In the middle of the clearing stood a really big rock. It did not look man-made, but as I got closer, it started to look odd. The surface of the rock was quite smooth, but I could make out some marks that I can only suppose were carvings. It would not have been the first monolith with carvings on it that I have come across. There is quite a few of them scattered around Karelia. I did notice some vegetation on top of the rock, which I thought was strange, as it appeared to be a roughly egg-shaped chunk of rock. For some unknown reason, I had the idea to climb on top of the rock. With a bit of effort, I climbed on top of it, and what do you know? There is at least 30 centimeters worth of moss growing there. The top of the rock was not what I expected. In fact, it formed a rough bowl shape, which had grown full of moss. Some brainworm told me to see if there is something under the moss, so I started ripping the moist growths open and unearthed the coolest thing I've ever found. Under the moss, I uncovered a clearly hand-carved bowl shape, the remains of a flintstone that had clearly been worked by human hands, and what I identified as bone fragments. With a bit of detective work, I managed to find a handful of flintstone chips, and another handful of very brittle bone fragments. They had to be animal bones, they were so small. I had stumbled across what I can only assume is a very old place of worship. Russia had a strong tradition of pagan magic and superstition in the pre-industrial era, so the spot could have been used only a few hundred years earlier. I doubt it's Stone Age, the landscape would have changed too much. I was fascinated by my discovery, and I decided to put the moss I had torn out back in its place. I felt very calm and peaceful in that clearing. It was like a temple. Bime, mother and grandmother breed Persian cats to sell. We keep some, sell most. Not all of them survive. One litter is born with a black cat in it. Black cat dies very early. Years go by. The cat started to age. Every time one of them is going to die, we see a black cat 3 days before. Mother saw black cat run into dining room. Followed it in. Nothing there. 3 days later, a cat dies. I was 10 when I saw it. Was fussing a cat on grandmother's dining room floor. Looked up at dining table and saw a black cat washing itself on a basket of washing. Turn away. Get up to fuss it. It's gone. Thought it was one of her other cats. She had a lot. Go looking for the cat I thought it was, asleep at the other end of the house. Get phone call from mom that one of the cats is missing at home. We find it. She was hiding to die. Had to take her to the vets where she was put down. The cat I thought was at my grandmother's house was her mother. Worse yet, cousin is 5 years old. Heard giggling upstairs, playing alone. Aunt goes upstairs to check on her. Who were you talking to? Cousin says she was playing with a black cat and it was their cat's brother. 3 days later, their cat is hit by a car. I'm glad we don't have those cats anymore. Be me. 16-year-old tryhard. Me and Dahmer decide one weekend to go out into the woods behind his house. Western Kentucky. Big hills that are mostly rock with moss on them, so I took hiking and mountain climbing gear just in case. We get about 15 miles out after a long day and decide to do some pot shots at Ken's and shit. Doing alright with my .308 CETMA. Underrated gun actually, despite being a Spanish rip-off company. Suddenly, a non-bro slips and misses a shot. Heart attack that I was going to die to some piss .22. Don't die. Just started calming down when I hear a growl / low-pitched scream. Hard to describe. Look at a non-bro. Bear? Person? Alamau? Literally could have convinced me it was anything. Decide, with gun-based Dutch courage, to go find out. Approach tree line. I'm actually thinking about ambushes, checking sex, bounding. Call me a pussy for being paranoid, I don't care. We get to trees. I use a machete to start clearing into where his shot entered. We get about 100 feetsies into the bush. A non-bro has plinker slung, is riding big dick with my .308. I am fairly comfortable with my machete. I am sweating really hard. Find a clearing. Not natural. Can see the stumps from the felled trees. Now we are 15 miles and change from literally any road. In the middle of this clearing. Fucking tin and wood shack. There is not even a trail leading to this clearing. Look at a non-bro. Poo a little. Decide to investigate. Get to shack. Decide to inspect or gadget this place. Get close to shack, which is literally the only thing here. It's creepy. Not normal creepy. Advanced creepy. I explore abandoned buildings on occasion. That's creepy. This is even creepier. No particular reason. It's not that badly deteriorated. Not bleeding from the walls. Just so out of place. Decide to enter. Pull open shitty door. Decide to kick the shack a bit to see if it will fall down. Probably not. Pull out lanterns. Go into shack. Expect a trapper shack or an inner woods camper's place. Nope. There is a big clean, normal bed. Like, cleaner than mine. Except for the chains on the bedposts. In before I got assaulted in a cabin in the woods. Spoiler, I didn't, but I think someone did. There's also a fucking cat moto poster. The fucking hang in there baby one. Decided right there that a fucked up person made this place. Then I see a hatch. Now how the fuck? Turn to an ombra. Ask how the fuck someone made a cellar out there. It's fucking 99% rock. Decide to be a man and go into the cellar. Was thinking about using this as a bug out base because it's pretty remote. Open cellar door. Musty. Like spoiled vegetables after a really long time. Hang in there, guys. It's not too bad, so I go down. It's just a ladder going into a hole. Get to the bottom. Turn on lantern. Panic. Spooky skeleton in one corner. Garbage in another. I'm speechless. Not frozen though. Nope my ass back up the ladder. Didn't inspect skeleton, so don't really know how it died or for how long it was there. Was too spooked. I was pretty sure I found some sicko's murder shack. Go back to Anon, bro. Get back to Anon, bro. What's down there, Anon? No, we're leaving. But no. I was understandably shaken. Take my .308 back and decide to take point. We clear those 15 miles in record time. Sometime later, decide to go back. Look for signs of use. Vigilante a killer or something. We get back out there. The trip is rougher now due to landslides. We get back to where we were shooting. Even found one of my brass. Head back to the clearing. It was due west. Re-clear the bush. Find the clearing. Do not find shack. No trace of it. No trace of a cellar either. It's a lot of work to hide those. Kinda panic a lot. Suddenly, low scream growl. Poo pants a little again. We book it. Can hear something chasing us, but never gaining, while climbing a steep hill, which is panicking when something is following you. Get to the top where Anon bro is. Pulling rope up. Rope gets taut. Fuck that noise. Drop the rope. Gets even tighter. Rope that can hold 400-pound loads snaps. Poo a lot. Full tilt sprint about 6 miles. Probably did a 20-second mile uphill. Lost weight. Get to the road. Anon bro starts booking to his house. Gears turn. I stop him. We run the opposite way. 6 miles from a highway. At highway, we had the guns and call his dad. Felt a lot safer next to a busy road than showing whatever it was where Anon bro lived. We got home and have not made another foray out since. Don't know that we will. I've never posted this story or really told anyone, but here it goes. Be me, 18 years old. Just got my first car. 1989 Toyota Celica. Usually a night person, so only drive at night. Live in a relatively small town, 40,000 people. 3 a.m, driving on Main Street. Driving past middle school, high school in sight. Look over to high school and look at the sky above it. Weird eerie light I'd never seen before. All of a sudden, green orb literally falls down from the sky, almost like it was shot out from space. Press on the gas and speed over there, thinking it was a meteorite. Those are worth money. It looked like it fell in a really rural part of town, Cherry Valley. Drive over there, pass ex-girlfriend's house, and notice her front porch light is off. Literally always on, cause coyotes hate light or something. About that time, I notice every light is off in Cherry Valley. Think to myself, it's like an EMP went off. Right as I think that, my car turns off. Decide to get out and walk less than a quarter mile from where I saw the orb-looking thing fall. Walk over this hill, and to find the orb sitting in a field, spinning really fast, kicking out dirt like a helicopter would. Decide to throw a rock, and it is instantly ricocheted right back at me. Missed it by that much. For whatever reason, I think to myself, I wonder if it is hot. Start walking towards it, and feel an intense heat. All of a sudden, it lets out a really loud screech and launches back into space, never to be seen again. Noped the fuck out of there, back to my car. Car turned on with no problem, and the lights were all back on everywhere. I went back there the next day when it was light out. Literally no sign that anything had touched this field of dried up grass. Drive by it all the time and think about that moment. Be me. Live in Cheshire, UK. A few years ago, aged about 30. Went to visit my parents one weekend. Hot summer evening in July. Went for a walk with my mom through the woods near their house. They lived in a 700-year-old converted barn. In the middle of the woods, no one else there. Wildlife seems to go quiet. Start to hear Latin chanting in the distance. Definitely a large group of people. Sound is getting closer. My mom freaks out, but I want to find out what it is. In the end, she can't handle it and starts walking back. I join her. Don't want to leave her walking alone in the woods with weirdos about. Chanting gets louder and then fades away. When we get back, I look on maps to see if there are any churches or anything nearby. Nothing. All heathland, woods, and fields. Have been through there again since, but heard nothing. No idea what it was, but definitely creepy. I went to a college in the northwest for a little while. Anyway, it is surrounded by woods. Like the campus has acres upon acres of forest around it. Pretty dope place. Being that close to a school, there is some pretty awesome stuff there. You will find pagan artwork, weaved branch, stones arranged in circles, stone arranged in pentagrams. There are these two things, called the silhouettes, which everyone knows about. It's two silhouettes of people, made with clear plastic tape, the wide kind, or something like that. Dunno the material. They are empty on the inside. Near the ceramic studio, there is a section of woods, filled with disfigured clay and ceramic faces, distorted bodies, and shit like that. It is cool. All in all, there is some pretty cool shit, but that's just a lead up to the best thing. One day, me and my friend were drinking and wandering around. We go off trail and into new sections. Come across a new treehouse. He climbs it. I'm like whatever. Then we amble along deeper into the area. Then I smell it. Meat. Not like rot, but like a butcher shop. I see something furry on the ground. Think it's a rabbit or something. Stick my arm out and stop him. He does nothing but gab gab gab. About himself too. It's super annoying. So he is looking at me. I tell him, that is death right there. He starts getting uncomfortable, being all what, and starts to shut up for once in his life. I get closer to investigate. It's not a rabbit like I thought it was. It's a severed goat head. At this point, this dude is freaking out a little, and I'm like, dude, grab this empty backpack, which he had found earlier in the woods, and grab for some reason, and we take the head. No blood, by the way. It had just been left there. We start walking forward again after laughing for a minute, and bam, another goat head. This one is sitting on a tree, staring at us. At this point I say, let's look for more, see how many there are. To which he replies, no, 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 no. Let's get the fuck out of here. He runs away. In the wrong direction, I might add too. This dude was so scared, he ran deeper into the woods, all disoriented. I didn't really want to be there alone, mind you, so I reluctantly go with him. We take the head back to the school, and we are like, what are we gonna do with this? We just decide to leave it at the trailhead, since it is a rotting head, and let some other freshmen find it. They do. They end up playing with it for a week, and finally throw a metal show in the woods, with generators, to celebrate the finding of the head. I have been back to the spot since then, by myself once I worked up the courage. Found the second head a few times, and just sat there, staring at it, waiting for it to talk, like Lord of the Flies. It's gone now. Dunno what happened to it. Some other soul nicked it, like I did the first one, or maybe whoever put it there in the first place grabbed the skull after it had rotted. There are skull fragments near that area too, like animal jawbones, so it might be an ongoing thing. I know we've got a rather large following of pagans, and an equally large following of Satanists in the town, so who knows. Oh, I also found a haunted mannequin in the woods. I mean, what mannequin isn't haunted, but several people had moments with this thing. I had brought it back to my apartment, and shit started happening around it. Sometimes we'd move it, or sometimes it would move on its own when I was alone, be in a different position when I returned to the room, or a chill would come over the room and the TV would go on the frets whenever someone is alone, and they would realize they were sitting right where it was staring without realizing before. Once I go back to that school, I'm gonna start putting shit in the woods myself, scarecrows and such. The only thing I love more than a good scare, or a mystery, is making one. Anon from other thread checking in. Basically, I left it off with a lot of the older guys swore up and down about mermaids and sirens, etc, etc. I have never directly seen anything with a tail, but here is one of my stories. Be Commercial Diver. Be 7.5 hours into an 8-hour shift. Feel tap from behind me. Turn around. See figure in same suit as I. Normal. We all wear the same suit. Talk over radio. Hello? No answer. That's strange. Figure has the bluest eyes I have ever seen, like crystals. Can't make out face, although it looks like a woman. Gestures at my umbilical, which is super close to being super fucking knotted around some steel. I wave and gesture thanks. They just go on their way into the abyss. Try to radio crew again about shit radio. Says we had you the entire time. You what? Ask who the other diver is down here. Nobody down there or none. Everyone has been up for nearly 30 minutes, just waiting on you. What the fuck? I go up and explain the story. Older dudes swear it was a mermaid. Be me. On trip through Western SC with wife. Last night of trip, and we are staying at some state park. Campsite along a creek a few miles into the park. Get to park later than expected. Probably only an hour and a half of sunlight left. Not worried. Both of us are experienced backpackers and we should be able to get there just about when it gets dark. Stop by and talk to Ranger to get a parking pass. Kinda weird, middle-aged dude. He seems oddly worried about us starting so late, but is moving slow as fuck, getting us the pass. States several times that he leaves at 9 o'clock and has to shut the gate for the night then. Okay, whatever. Finally get the parking pass. It is dated for us, leaving several days later, despite us only reserving site for one night. Almost correct him, but I want to hurry up and get going, so figure whatever and let it slide. Then proceeds to tell us that the site is not where I'd thought it was. Thought the site was along the main trail. Site 15, pick related. He says we have to cross a stream and take the red trail to get to it. Okay, he's the ranger and I'm just some moron. Can't tell from the map anyway. Head out. See a few people at closer campsites, but none after a mile or so. Getting dark as we turn off main trail onto orange and then red trail. Trail quality immediately drops. End up basically bushwhacking through underbrush halfway to campsite. Moving slowly. Sun has set behind mountains now. See no signs of campsite before hours. Consult map. We have to be where we think we are. We decide to keep going and look for sight. Hit unmistakable turn in trail as it goes up a mountain. Should have passed 2 campsites by now, but no sign of anything at all. Wife is kinda freaked out. Agree that Ranger definitely told us to take this trail. Start to think about how we didn't tell anyone we were gonna be at this park. Wife says what we are both thinking. Weird Ranger dude straight up lied to us about sight. Think about how he dated us, leaving several days from now. Fuck. Pitch black by this point. Drizzling. No moon. Discuss just setting up camp here. Decide against it. Obviously first place he'd come to murder us. Head back to main trail. Creeped out the whole way. Have hiked twice the distance we should have at this point. Finally make it back to main trail. 2 options. Head back to truck or continue down trail to where campsite should be. Almost head to truck and leave. Remember, he said gate would be locked until morning. Decide we are overreacting. Probably just a new ranger or something. Head to site. Finally get there, hours after we should have. No sign of life anywhere. Only light is from shitty headlamps we had. Both of us still creeped out. It's dead silent. No longer drizzling, but it's that type of heavy air where everything feels super closed in, and any sounds seem to get sucked up into nothing. Set up tent. Hang beer bag. Wife starts cooking. Sitting around shitty stove, and both of us hear something. Sounds like someone walking off the main path, down towards our campsite. Probably 25 yards away through brush. Oh fuck, here we go. I stand up and draw my carry piece. Shine shitty headlamp up trail. Can't see shit. Sound stop. Not sure what to do, so I start whistling like some fucking hillbilly. Footsteps start again, this time seeming to go back the way they came. Stand there for a few more minutes. No more sounds from trail. Eventually get around to eating and then crawl into tent. Lay there with one hand on my gun all night. Hightail it out of there at first light the next morning. Wife still thinks that we were almost murdered that night. Never looked down on me concealed carrying again. I'm still not sure if it was just a dumb ranger and then some other poor schmuck on the trail I freaked out, or if he was really trying to fuck with us. Here is one from the old house I lived at. House is parallel to woods. Bedroom window has straight view at the woods, save the back fence. I start hearing something that sounds like a bird chirping in the morning, in the middle of the night. It sounds like it's coming from the tree line at the back. Look out there for a bit. See something. Can't see it right. Looks a bit like a black blob. Open the window and stick head out to attempt to get a good look. It moves. It begins to look more clear. Looks like a deformed / fucked up moose or deer. It's moving towards the fence. What the fuck ever, who cares? Looking at it a bit longer. It throws one of its fucked up limbs on the fence. Then it throws up another. It's climbing over the fence. It half sets itself down / falls into my yard. Moose and deer do not climb fences. Shit fills pants. Looking at it slumped over on the fence as my heart feels like it's about to explode. All the while, it's still making that noise. It moves again. It's moving toward the window. It's not a deer or a moose. Looks like a mix between a deer and a dog. It's almost at the window. I snap back into reality. Fuck. Wakes up entire house. Slam window shut. Everyone in the house rushes into my room. What the fuck is wrong, Anon? It's still in the yard, but it's moving back towards the fence. I point it out to my mother. She starts screaming. Things get even more spooked, basically starts half limping, half running to the fence. Does the same fucked up climb it did before, and goes back over and moves back into the tree line. The noise keeps coming from the woods. Entire family and me spend the rest of the night looking out the window, making sure it didn't come back. It gets quieter and quieter until it stops. It was morning by then. Spoke to some neighbors, confirmed that they heard the noise. Heard the noise a couple more times, never saw the creature again. Still don't know what it would have done if I didn't close the window. Alright, so I knew a kid, and basically, it went like the Jeffrey Dahmer. If you don't know how it goes, I'm green texting it. Meet a kid at school. Get to be close friends with him. Hang out with him at his house. He acts strange and shows signs of manipulation. I am a fairly smart kid and notice this. He is a huge control freak and rages if you don't go along with his ideas. He says we should wrestle. We sumo wrestle, but he almost always wins, and now that I look back, he would put me in semi-sexual positions. Pretty much comes out as gay to me. Gets naked and proposes sex at separate times. Say I want to call my dad and go home. He screams no when I try to leave. Tries tackling me and choking me. Shove him off and apologize. I knew he was crazy and knew how to stay alive. Stayed the night. Left first thing in the morning. Never told anyone. Came back to his house one other time, and he did some fake memory loss shit to get me to believe it. His parents weren't there, so I had no way to really get out of it. Call my dad once his mom gets home and use her presence as a safety net. Leave, and never talk to him again. I repressed this for years. I remembered the gay part, but I did not remember him being psychopathic for years. All these stories helped me delve into my hidden part of my memory. Thanks, guys. Also, he does photography now, just like Dahmer, no joke. I hope he isn't doing the same thing to other people. 11 years old. House burns down to a chimney fire. That same night, my mom was supremely drunk. Randomly had a weird feeling and insisted on coming home. As I was browsing nudes on my PSP, my mom drunkenly stumbles around the house, trying to find the source of a weird smell in our house. She demands that we leave and stay the night at her fiance's house. Next morning, my brother's friend reports that our house is literal ruins, pic related. Our entire small town community bands together, gets us a new home, and fills it with furniture. House is creepy. Me and siblings swap stories on how the basement is haunted. Things are normal for a few months, but the creepiness does not fade. One day, randomly decide to read the Bible. Abraham begot Isaac. Isaac begot Jacob. Suddenly, as clear as fucking day, inches from my ear, I hear a whisper. Hey. Shocked. Motionless for minutes. Respond. Hey. Nothing. Few weeks later. In the shower. Sitting on the floor of the shower. Knees to my chest. Head down. Get an overwhelming feeling that the shower is about to get really hot. Ghosts aren't real. Shut the fuck up. Suddenly, out of nowhere. Shower gets scorchingly hot. Scramble to get out. Never finish shower and opt for baths occasionally.